a celebration. Streaming on CBS News Bay Area.
Hi, I'm Johnny Scruff, co-founder of the Scruff app, and I'm here to wish you a happy Pride Month because this is the time to celebrate friendships, love, and of course, meaningful connections. So here's to wishing you a happy Pride. You're watching CBS Bay Area.
Thanks, Johnny, from Las Vegas there. Hey, welcome back to Emmy-nominated Hope, Love, Pride on CBS Bay Area. Did you know that we had an Emmy nomination for last year's show? I'll see you at the Emmys, Brianna.
Yes.
We are your community station where we know our stories define us, and we're doing Pride by telling your stories as the parade plays out behind us downtown. Let's pop down there right now, live, where Kelsey Thorne has a front and center report from the celebration. All right, so she's busy right now, so I'm going to take charge. And Brianna, feel free to jump in here. It looks like Senator Scott Wiener has a few friends down there marching the parade route. And right before we went to break, Kelsey got us a quick interview with a couple of lawmakers. Of course, the iconic Nancy Pelosi, joined by Adam Schiff. And right up there is Senator Scott Wiener. Senator Wiener's been up in our state capitol working on legislation, many pieces of legislation. One piece, of course, much talked about making sure that kids who are on the spectrum of trans, gender non-conforming, non-binary, LGBTQ plus kids go to homes, foster homes that are supportive and loving. How important is it that our lawmakers are mindful of our struggle, Brianna?
You know, I just, with this whole legislation going on attacking, trans and gender non-conforming kids and, getting the care that they need, we should be in charge of our bodies and what we want for ourselves. And so it's just kind of sad that, legislation, is trying to control our bodies and what we do and the decisions that we make.
So let's talk about that. Physicality is so important to be mindful of, and when a person transitions, clothing is so important to the conversation. Someone who saw the need is someone we celebrate today on Hope, Love, Pride Sunday. Here's Liz Cook with a profile on a person who wants our trans citizens to not only be who they are on the inside, but have clothing that tells their story, reflects their truth on the outside. Watch.
Step inside Ami Nashimoto's world, and this is what you will hear.
It's kind of how I have learned to express myself. Music allows you to express what words can't.
From an early age, Ami knew they didn't always fit into a box. Ironically, it took a global pandemic and seeing themselves on Zoom with the pronouns she, they every day for Ami to truly embrace their identity.
It really solidified that, yeah, that really is me, and I really am non-binary. I started telling people this is who I am, and I more forwardly looked for clothes that fit me.
But shopping for clothes wasn't always something Ami looked forward to.
Yeah, I think people who are non-binary or want something in between are kind of left behind. Something that actually can fit your physical body that maybe you were born with, but that can actually project what you want.
Then Ami found something different. A sweater that made them feel seen.
It looks really simple, which I actually like that. But just the way it fits me, it kind of makes me into the boxier shape that I like. And miraculously, the sleeves are not too long for me.
That sweater came from the mind of Finnegan Shepherd.
To wear clothing that doesn't fit is a kind of synecdoche for the kind of almost metaphysical just not fitting in, period.
Finnegan started Both And, a clothing company specifically designed for trans men and people who identify as non-binary, after he went through his own transitional surgery.
And so I was thinking about, I'm going to be able to go to a public pool and swim topless soon or sometime, and that's going to be so amazing. But even though I can be topless, I've never had swim trunks that fit me, but I'm sure somebody will have solved this problem by now.
Turns out nobody had. So Finnegan did something about it. With just $5,000, Finnegan and his business partner set out to make a collection of simple foundational clothing that is anything but basic. The t-shirts are cut to create a broader shoulder and boxier fit, the pants designed to conceal the curve of the hips. All the models are trans or non-binary.
The whole point, to a certain degree, is a kind of invisibility, that the clothing is achieving the silhouette that aligns with the person's sense of gender identity and presentation, and that it's effortless and that it's comfortable and it allows them to walk through the world without yet another point of friction, which is just so endemic to the trans experience.
People want to be seen, people want to be valued for exactly who they are, to not have to pretend to be something else, to not have to wear a mask.
Proving that fashion isn't always about getting noticed for what's on the outside. It's giving people a window into who you are on the inside.
And making music while you do it. You know, kind of like the music theme here. Brianna, it really, I think, is important that we look at the needs for clothing for our trans brothers and sisters through the lens of humanity. How is humanity boosted when a person is able to wear clothes that are firm?
Yeah, you know, we want our mind to match our body. And so, you know, especially when you're applying for a job or singing at a concert hall, you want to look nice and you want to feel comfortable. And you know, as an opera singer, I get all of my gowns like literally custom made for my body because, you know, I am 6'1½". So, you know, and, you know, I'm a tall girl. So, you know, that's kind of like a hurdle for me because I'm really tall. But, you know, I love being tall.
Right.
But, you know, I think finding clothing that fits me and fits me properly can be a challenge. But, you know, I want to feel confident. We all want to feel confident, you know, in what we do and how we present ourselves. I think it's so important. Clothing
is storytelling, and it's important that our stories are reflected in how we're seen in the world. Yeah. And I love and I celebrate people who are out there doing that. All right, so let's go back out to the parade route. Somebody who I think is our CBS Bay Area sporty spice, Kelsey Thorin. You met a Bay Area roller derby team making room for all in sports. Tell us about them.
Yeah, Reed, I did. You know, there are a lot of sporty people out here. And before we get to that story, I just want to show you guys what's going on with the parade right now. There is a lot still happening. We've seen dogs go by. You can see all these guys. This is a local senior dog rescue that's walking through the parade. We saw a bunch of corgis going through earlier. And before that, we saw kind of the row of local politicians. We were able to speak with former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, as well as Representative Adam Schiff, who's running for the Senate here in California. We saw a lot of local assembly members and state senators. But Reed, as you said, there's also a lot of sporty people, myself included. I played a lot of sports in high school, but one sport I never played was roller derby. Well, there is a huge roller derby population here in the Bay Area. It's actually one of the oldest roller derby leagues. They are called Bay Area Derby. It is short for BAD. That's what they call themselves, and they are a bunch of bad people playing that sport. I tell you, I could never play it if I tried, but they're having some issues. The pandemic hit them really hard, and now they're wondering whether or not they're going to be able to stay in their practice facility, and they're asking for the public's help.
Kate Silver first got involved in roller derby about 10 years ago. Right around the same time, she was coming out as trans.
I was looking for community, and so I'd gone to some roller derby games where I was going to grad school, which was in Madison, Wisconsin, and found out that looked very queer and queer friendly, and so I started getting involved.
It didn't take long for Kate to fall in love with the sport. So when she moved to California, one of the first things she did was join the local league.
This league has a special place in derby history. It's one of the first leagues that was founded in what's called the Flat Track Revival in the early 2000s.
Bay Area Derby, or as many of its members call it, BAD, is one of the most successful leagues in the country, offering opportunities for both beginners and advanced skaters to play and compete around the world. Spider here is one of the newest members.
I
just was like kind of stalking them, trying to find, because I was like, I want to get back into skating. And then the first opportunity was the Learn to Skate clinic. And I just signed up, and then I've stayed connected ever since.
Derby has long been a sport that queer people have gravitated towards. And in recent years, many trans people, like Kate, say it's one of the last sports they still feel welcomed playing.
It's probably the only sport in which, at the highest levels, trans women are accepted, and trans men and trans masculine people are accepted without flinching at all.
Spider told me BAD is where they made their first friends in the Bay Area. And because of that, it's grown into so much more than just a sport.
Community, belonging, togetherness, bonding. It means a lot of different things.
But all of that could soon be taken away. Bay Area Derby says it's lost a huge chunk of its revenue since the pandemic and is now struggling to pay rent on its practice facility. If they don't raise $50,000 in the next few months, they may have to end their lease. Spider told me when they first heard that, they couldn't quite believe it.
It's kind of like not real. Like, that can't happen. That can't happen because it would just completely, like, I don't know, like tear apart so many of our lives if we didn't have a space.
Kate says the space has meant so much to their community over the years, she too can't imagine losing it.
Yeah, and it'd be heartrending to lose it. I would be crying for quite a while, so I don't like to think about it.
That's why Kate, Spider, and the rest of the league are not going down without a fight. They created a GoFundMe and have already raised tens of thousands of dollars, most of which has been donated by skaters from other leagues from around the world. Kate told me that support has her hopeful they'll reach their goal.
It'd be great to meet our goal and to exceed that goal. We would love that. That would make us very comfortable for the next year or so as we were getting back on our feet.
But as the skaters wait for that day to come, they say they're just cherishing every day they have together, holding on to that welcoming community that initially attracted so many to their sport, and fighting to get the chance to keep it long into the future.
Now, BAD has raised tens of thousands of dollars for that practice facility, but they are still looking for as much help as they can get. Now, back out here at the parade, you can see that we got some first responders coming through here now. It looks like the fire department, everybody, sheriff's office, you know, showing their support. And really a big thing, of course, about this parade is people dressing up, wearing the different costumes that they like. Yeah, we got some dancers out here for sure, for sure. But as I said, a big thing is people wearing costumes, right? Everybody loves to come out, wear a lot of stuff. And I met these two guys earlier. You guys are from Sacramento. I love the outfits. Why did you guys want to come out here? Why did you want to wear your Pride best today?
Because it's about unity and togetherness and one and a big umbrella of happiness and joy and love of every race, straight, gay, heterosexual, whatever, transgender. We're all here, we're all together, we're doing our biggest right now.
Now, I know you said you are from Miami. This is your first San Francisco Pride. How does it compare?
It's almost the same.
You have to say it's the best now that
it's the best. We're getting good vibes out here. You know what I'm saying?
It's just because the weather, it's not as warm as Miami, but we're still having a good time out here. Yeah, we're having a great time. And we are, Reed, you know, we've been having a ton of great time. As you can see, the parade is still going on. We got the police officers coming through here now. It's just, you know, it's been a joy out here. This is the first San Francisco Pride that I've gotten to cover, and it has been a ton of fun. And of course, it's still going on.
And you know, Kelsey, as we see the police out there with the pride flags, we're mindful of the fact that this has been a journey of acceptance with law enforcement and the LGBTQ plus community. But there they are. The conversations were very difficult in the 70s and the 80s, as you're about to see in a story coming up. But now, look at that. Inroads have been made. And this is the power when conversations happen. People hear our stories. Is it not, Kelsey?
Yeah, Yeah, that's very true. I mean, you've heard about prides in other cities where the police have not been invited to participate in the pride. That is not the case here. You can see we have the sheriff's office. It looks like we have FBI agents back here too. We have essentially every level of law enforcement is participating in this parade. And like you said, Reed, it's all about unity. It's all about showing support. And it has been a difficult history, but this is a future that we're looking at now, and these guys here definitely want to show their support for the LGBTQ community.
I love it. Please thank them for their service and from all of us here at the station.